It is another Tuesday, and boy, aren't they going fast. I can't believe that we're at the end of March already. Next week, it will be hitting into April, and by the time we know it, the school year will be over. I really had an interesting week. Yesterday, I was part of the Stepping Out training, and last Monday, and we were talking a lot about literacies, and it really a lot of the stuff that we were talking about during the sessions of Stepping Out. I had seen parts of it before, but it really pulled together a lot of great ideas for me. And one of them was the idea that our kids really need to be able to, as my good friend David Warlick says, they need to be information artisans. They need to be able to tell stories using all types of media, and especially now in the 21st century where the information that they have access to and the information and the audience that they have access to is basically unlimited. It's digital, and it can be changed and shared and all these types of things. So and I had actually chosen to talk about infographics today before that, but this really for me is timely in that infographics are really sort of exploding. Over the last year, the conferences that I was to last summer and the chatter on Twitter and other places for the last little while, infographics has really taken a central role in the educational technology conversation in terms of what it can do for students and what it really means. So I wanted to just sort of walk through infographics, and this, I will tell you right now, I am by no means an expert in infographics. In fact, I've just started playing with it the last couple of weeks after I decided I wanted to jump into it. So I'm learning along with you, I'll tell you right now. But infographics for me are really something that I think are going to be important. And I just pulled up quickly the Wikipedia entry for infographic, and it really is just that graphic visual representation. And so there's lots of visual literacies built into there, and it's about taking data and putting it in such a way that people can see the outcome. So there's not really any debate about what you're trying to say. So it's all about making sure that people can see what you want to do, and so many of us are visual in terms of the way we live. So I just wanted to take a few moments and just show you a couple of the infographics. This is a website called coolinfographics.com, and so this is an infographic that has been created obviously for other purposes, but it's water rich versus water poor. And so I'm not sure if you can see it really clear here, but what it talks about, the top 5 in annual renewable water resources: Brazil, Russia, Canada, the USA, and Indonesia. And then it talks about the bottom 5, and it talks about Kuwait, Barbados, Antigua and Barbuda, Bahrain, and the Central African Republic. And so what it's doing is it's actually taking and using graphs. Graphs are a big piece of infographics. You'll see that as we go along. As are maps. You'll see a lot of different maps in infographics. So lots of different types of graphs, lots of different types of maps that people are using to illustrate the data and the points that they want to make, to tell their story. So here's a water-rich lifestyle. You can see here that they use for one piece of paper, they have 3 gallons of water that are being used. Now you could write this all in a report, or you could make a website to do all of this, but really when these graphics stand out, it really tells a very, very powerful story in using these graphics. Now this one is a little long for me. I get a little, my ADD kicks in, and I kind of lose focus here. But so you can see that it continues on, and now we get down to the bottom of the infographic. So what it's done, it's telling the story about how some nations are very rich in water, but very wasteful in water, versus those nations who are poor in water but find ways to make it work. So that is the type of infographic that's one. Here's another one. This one here I really liked, because what was interesting about it is it's just a map of the world, but using color, it took data on internet connections, how many internet devices were connected, and it created a map that showed very clearly the power of internet connectivity on Europe, the eastern seaboard of the US. You see over to the right-hand side, there's Japan is very connected, South Korea, and a growing connectivity in China as well. And this kind of surprised me, was the growing connectivity around in Brazil, in South America. You see that down sort of in the bottom center right of your map. So that in itself is a really powerful infographic. Here's another one that's map-based. This one here actually moves. So it's, again, about the use of data. So that works very well. This is a different kind of map that is being used. So we're going to just scroll on down to the bottom of this page, because there's one other based map, time-based visualization. So it talks about the distant past and the sun being the only form of heat. And then it talks about the fire used for cooking. It talks about fire now under human control, so humans being able to manage fire. And so this is a very simple one that can be developed easily by students to be able to tell their story. So I think you've got an idea now about what infographics look like. There's actually a lot of infographics on Pinterest, which is something that I've not gotten into yet, but my wife has told me, don't go there. I may never come back out of it, because she knows that I would probably go in and just stay there. But you know, there's lots of one. Here's one on ever gotten a date online, how to succeed in any situation. So there's lots of different infographics on Pinterest that you can go and have a look at as well. Infographic on the history of digital storage, on punch cards, cassette tape, 5.5-inch floppies. We've also 5.25-inch floppies. We've all seen that. So there's another one over here on the side that you can actually like as well. The neat thing about these is that they can be shared and easily shared. And here's another one on the greatest cars in Hollywood. So it's got the Pontiac Trans Am kit, you know, all these kinds of things. So I just wanted to show you a few different types of infographics. This is a website, and by the way, I'm going to put all the links to all these websites that I'm using on the Tech20 Tuesday page for infographics, just so you'll have them. But this one is 10 steps to designing an amazing infographic. And I think if you were going to work with students, this would be a great place to start. It talks about really basic data collection and design. So data gathering, reading everything, finding the narrative. And this is really important for our kids to understand, is that they really, being able to tell a story, that narrative about whatever it is they're doing, that's going to be a huge thing in their future, to be that information artisan, to be able to capture and tell that story. So now we've got an idea about what we think data visualization can do through infographics. I wanted to show you a few resources that are on the web that our students can use right now to be able to develop their own infographics for use in the classroom. And you could do this absolutely across any subject area. It could be, there's lots of math in here, so even if you're teaching language arts, you can actually very easily do lots of cross-curricular work in terms of math. So there's lots of numerical literacy in here, there's lots of digital literacy in here, there's all kinds of different pieces of the puzzle. So there's lots of math. There's also lots of language arts, being able to tell stories using images and visualization. Really, you could do this in any subject area, from hard sciences at any grade level, right from K to 12. I was talking to a kindergarten teacher this afternoon, and just about 20 minutes ago, here I'm at Gibson Neal Memorial School this afternoon, and I was talking to one of the kindergarten teachers, and she said, I saw that, and she said, what's it about? And she said, could I do that with grade kindergarten teachers? And I said, absolutely sure you could, but I think with kindergarten teachers, you're probably going to keep it simple, and you could be doing the infographics right on pen and paper. And I'm a big believer that in some ways, at some levels, pen and paper and doing, pulling out the big chart paper and everybody working collaboratively on it is a more efficient tool than doing it with technology. But This is Easely, EASEL.ly. So Easily, you see it's in beta, which means that it's still being developed, but they're accepting registrations now. You can log in, and you can see here that there are data visualizations, infograms that other people have created, but they will actually allow you to start and build your own. So on Easily, if I just hit Start Fresh, if I click on it, you will notice that it's going to give me basically a blank sheet of paper. By the way, if I create a login and password, if I create an account, it will actually keep and archive all of my old archives. You'll notice that, and I was surprised at Easily this afternoon. I haven't created an account yet, so I haven't gone in and really had a look at it. But I was surprised at Easily in that it kind of has a lot of the feel of not what's it called? Not PowerPoint, but the new one, Prezi. It has a kind of a Prezi feel, and so you'll notice that it does a lot of the same kinds of things. So in here, you can bring in objects. So if I click on objects, it's got all kinds of different objects that students can bring in. So to bring in an object, if for instance I'm going to do one on hockey, I can bring this hockey player in, place it wherever I want, and I've got all kinds of different animals. So they've got a lot of graphics that students can use. And then there's also a lot of objects, and you can put text in, but you can also put in charts and other kinds of pieces of the puzzle. You can put in a grid, which will allow you to sort of line things up a little better. It's got backgrounds, shapes, text, and it will allow you to upload other files. So if you have a picture of, for instance, if you're doing a science experiment and you've got your own stuff, you can do it in there. And then in the themes, it will allow you to choose themes. So it's got some visualization themes that you can choose from. So it's got, and basically these are just templates. So you would choose one of these and pull your own data out. And put your own data in, I should say. So this one I haven't had a chance to look at, but one that I have been playing with a little bit. And I like it because it's really simple. It's called Infogram, INFOGR.am. Again, it's in beta, create an account, and it's all there. But the neat thing about it is that it allows you to create your charts and everything right in here. So if I start a new infographic, it's going to allow me to choose a template. And so I can just scan across, looking at different templates. Maybe I like this one, Juicy Story of a New Project. So I can click on this, and then it's simply, it simply allows me to put in my own data. Now, the neat thing about most of these, in fact, all of them that I've seen so far, is that this will allow me to go back home. This will allow me to check in my library. I can have settings and preview, but it allows me to publish it. Now, one of the things that teachers always want to know is, well, how do I print it? Well, obviously, it's a web-based product, so you don't want to print it. You want to publish it, and publish it for the world. So when I hit on Publish, what it's going to allow me to do, it's going to allow me to create, so I would just say I'm going to publish this, and it's just Tech20Tuesday test, a sandbox infogram for testing. And then I hit OK, publish it. And what it allows me to do is I can now publish it to Twitter. I can now publish it to Facebook or Pinterest. I can view it on the web, and what is that it will also allow me to embed it. And if you're not familiar with embed codes, what that allows you to do is this would allow me, if I copied this piece of embed code, copy it. And now if I go back to, and I'm just going to go to the Tech20Tuesday wiki space page, Tech20Tuesday.com, and I'm in my, let's go right here to the Tech20Tuesday wiki space. Oh, how about Tech20Tuesday.wikispaces.com. And I'm going to put that infographic right here on the front page. I'm going to set it right here underneath Tech20 Tuesday, just temporarily, but just for to show you. So what I would do, that infographic, crossing my fingers, should show right up on this Tech20 Tuesday page. Now, when you're thinking about how you can use this with students, and their students has been to work with either research projects or independent or authentic research projects, and to actually do research, gather data, and to use wiki spaces or blogs or other web kinds of pages as a platform for building digital textbooks. Well, this could be a class digital textbook component. So if you were creating, for instance, a chapter on oceans for water in grade 7, then what you could do is every student, when you've divided up the chapters, maybe every student could have part of their product would be to create an infographic that they are going to put onto their web page. So it allows them to learn how to take data and represent it graphically in a powerful way to be able to tell their stories. So this is the Tech20 Tuesday page, and I am just going to go back here and edit and take out that widget again, just so I don't forget, because I know that there will be somebody who will come by and say, oh, what's that doing there? There's a couple of other tools. So there's the infogram, which is the one I think that I like the best, because when I come back here to the home page, it's really, really simple. And you can put in charts, add charts to your infographic. You can do all kinds of other things. It's the one that I've found that I've liked the best. There's the Tech20 Tuesday page, and I'm just going to move this up here so I can keep going across the pages. The other one that comes highly recommended that I started to play with a little bit yesterday is called PictoChart, P-I-K-T-O chart.com. Again, it has themes, it has graphs, it has all kinds of different things. And I think basically they all work about the same. They allow you to choose a theme, bring in your own content, add graphs, add images. They've got a certain amount of in terms of graphics that you can use to help tell your story, and they allow you to publish it to the web. They basically all do the same that I've seen. So I wouldn't really get too hung up on the platform that you want your kids to use, but I think just giving the kids options and letting them play around and sort of explore which one works best for them, and that would work just fine, I think. I wouldn't be, as I said, too hung up on that. So we are now at the end of Tech20 Tuesday. It is now 3:59:20. That is a look and a very quick look at infograms. If you are interested in infograms, and I'm sure most of them at least can help you wade your way through it. It may be new to them. Infograms, as I said, is just starting. Infographics, I should say, is just starting to take off over the last 6 months to a year in terms of chatter around the educational technology world. But to me, this is really about 21st century literacy. Visual literacy is going to be so much, and that those skills to be able to tell powerful stories using all types of media, to be that information artisan, this really speaks to that from my personal perspective. That is Tech20 Tuesday for today. I will be around for a few minutes. If you have questions, you can either type them into the chat page up on the bottom. I am monitoring that on the side, or just open up your microphone and we can have a conversation. That's it. We'll see you all again next week after the Easter weekend. Have a great week, everybody.